And I'm happy to be talking with 35th District Representative Dan Griffey. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well, and
I see you're green. I got green on.
Yeah, you do.
We're dressed down
today.
Friday.
It is a little bit of a dress down Friday.
Yes.
Here.
Oh, I'm not in a suit, so this is a treat.
Well, it is a treat. So you're not in a suit today, so that means
we don't have our committee was canceled, so I can go meet with my constituents like I want to dress instead of in a suit.
Do you find that when you don't wear a suit, it makes you a little more accessible?
Maybe. A good friend of mine for years was nervous as heck to come meet me in my office, and I just felt that was crazy. I don't understand. I've known you for my whole life. We drink beer together, and you feel nervous, and you got your and I just don't understand it. We're just people. Come there and talk to us, and don't worry about it.
Well, what's going on with the legislative session this week?
I'm disappointed I can't get chairman to hear my statute of limitations bill.
Wait a second.
In the Senate.
What do you mean you can't?
Well, he won't hear it. I got 3/4 of the Senate that wants to, but the chairs of the committees are very powerful people, and he won't hear it. And we're disappointed.
What committee is it sitting in now?
Law and Justice.
Law and Justice. Who's the head of this one?
So Senator Mike Padden.
And now, even though, and we hear about this because they say now all politics is local, even though perhaps you may not be represented by him,
yeah.
You are in a sense represented by him if he is the one who's leading these committees, right?
My bill is controlled by him.
Yeah.
Whether I get my bill out or not.
Well, I mean, so if I'm not in his district, I could still call there, though, and say, hey.
Absolutely. We really recommend that if you like this policy, if you think this policy is long overdue, as I do, please get a hold of Senator Padden at the Law and Justice, chair of the Law and Justice Committee in the Senate.
Do we have a deadline before?
Yeah, we got about a week and a half before we have to, so we're not, we're not on life support yet, but... just like getting it out of the house, it was. I was telling you, I was doing CPR on my bills, and
yeah.
I'm at it again. And this one is more like on life support. It's disappointing, but you got to live to fight another day,
sure.
and sometimes it takes several years to make substantive changes to law, and we'll keep working on it. Disappointed, but. I'm not going to throw in the towel until the last day.
Yeah, still got a couple days left. Hearing about a new measure in the House, tax vapor, e-cigs, and other nicotine products. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I haven't read the bill yet, but I just saw it on the intro sheet.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's in it and what the tax rate is and that kind of thing. In general, I wouldn't support such a measure, but again, I'd have to look at it.
I think basically it's wanting to put in line at least this to follow suit with other traditional nicotine products.
Yeah, and those are like double tax. So, I mean, they're exorbitant in there. So I still don't know that they're, some in the legislature think that they're using the e-cig and the vapor products as an alternative to cigarettes, so then they just never stop the habit.
Yeah.
I still believe that there's some efficacy, that it helps folks stop smoking. So I really don't want to take that away, and so I'll probably be opposing that. But again, I don't never commit to a bill until I've read it. I just saw it on the intro sheet the other day.
What else are you looking at that you have seen from the Senate side that is an encouraging or an interesting bill? I know you've had some other ones that you are working on, and another bill that I had read about, some kids up in, I think it was Kitsap, but in the district, were also looking on the marijuana lockbox. Did you hear about that?
Hawkins Middle School.
That's what it was.
My middle school alma mater.
Yeah.
They unknowingly are working on a similar bill that I'm working on, and they said, "Well, gosh, you figured it out before we did." But it's kind of neat that we think alike.
How is that moving?
It's moving well. We received a hearing in the Senate. I expect it to move out of the Senate.
And this is, again, the ability for folks who use cannabis in either recreational marijuana or medical aspects to be able to keep it in a lockbox to keep it away from kids.
Well, they can actually keep it in a lockbox all they want. It can be handed out for free at a marijuana dispensary is really what it does.
Sure.
And we had to change that in statute. You asked the question, what are we working on that's interesting?
Yeah.
We worked on another statute of limitation bill. Ironically, it's Senator Padden's bill that would extend the statute of limitations on attempted murder. There was some egregious testimony of what murder for hire and those sort of things. These things take a lot of time to get enough evidence out. And right now the statute is 3 years, and they would like to extend it to 10 years.
Oh.
And I agree with it. I just still think the monsters in society should have to look over their shoulders for long periods of time. You can't do these things and expect to get away with them. And if you do get away with them, we'd like you to worry about it for a while.
So when you talk to people on committees and you hear these bills, you get experts on both sides. What are the experts saying on the reasons to keep the statutes at low
The
levels?
only one, and I took very large exception to it, the only one that testified against it was American Civil Liberties Union, and they said it was unfair. And I reacted pretty strongly. I just asked her, is it unfair that somebody has somebody attempt to murder them? Is that unfair?
Yeah.
If we're talking about American civil liberties, isn't it a civil liberty? Shouldn't we expect it to be a civil liberty that we're free from being, somebody trying to kill us?
Yeah.
So I really thought it was a smarmy testimony that I just thought was too smarmy for the gravity of the subject we were talking about. So it was the only person that was opposed to it.
I mean, you do the crime, and that's the point. You want to make sure that these crimes get run through the system and figured out if they can. And when you run up a 3-year, or like with your statute of limitations there, as you move forward, it just doesn't make sense to either keep them at low levels. Wait, hold on 1 second here, or just not extend them.
Yeah, and so I just think there's certain crimes that Washington State, Washingtonians should just put their feet in the sand and say we're not moving on.
Yeah,
these are the crimes that are so egregious that we're just not going to move, and they're so bad, and they have such lifelong effects on the victim or the survivor, as they want me to call them, that the person that committed the crime should have to have at least a little bit of worry in the back of their mind for the rest of their life.
35th District Representative. Oh, you have a town hall next week with
I do with Drew, and we might have a secret guest show up. It could be one senator from the 35th District we're hearing rumors about. It's breaking news right
only
here.
One, so I don't want to limb too far, figure out who that is. That'd be really cool. And it's at Olympic. It's at Olympic College, right?
At Olympic College and Library.
Okay, very good. We'll get the details out more on that next week. Dan, always nice talking with you.
Yeah, take care.
Have a good weekend.